Ladies and gentlemen, welcome one more time to the Kryajet Podcast, where we talk about the insights of private aviation. Today we have Pierre, which is a caterer in Les Bourgets, and we're going to talk about, from my point of view as a private jet flight attendant, and his point of view as a caterer. Please, Pierre, will you introduce yourself?
Hello, good morning, afternoon, whatever it is, whatever time of the day it is. So my name is Pierre. I'm the co-founder of Uppersky Gourmet based in Paris-Le Bourget Airport. We are the oldest caterer in Le Bourget, and I created this company together with my brother, who was formerly a chef of very frequent flyer of corporate aviation. And myself, I previously come from marketing for luxury brands. One of the brands I used to work for was Christopher, which is a brand that we mostly see in these aircraft, I think. So let's start.
So my first question for you, because this is also what maybe affects me, and when I started to talk more with caterings, not only just order, talk and get to know, was I've seen a few kitchens, and to me was mind-blowing the way you guys work, in a good way, of course, but also the way I ordered changed, because I understood a little bit what it happens behind. So my question for you, and I would like for the people to know, for you to walk us through, as soon as you receive an email from a flight attendant, what happens behind?
Oh, it does happen a lot. Well, first we go through said order. We see if we have the basics of information such as time, date of delivery, FBO. We go through tail number, of course. Without it, we can't do anything. Most probably, we can have some information about the number of passengers and crews, because we do give food not only to passengers.
Thank you.
Because they're important. If you don't have your food, which is your fuel, you cannot work.
Absolutely true.
And then we go through all these information that are dedicated to the order itself. So what do we have, what you need, if we have the length of the flight, we see if it's coherent. And obviously, per item, we know the quantity. If it's for hot food, is it for to be reheated in a proper oven or microwave? All these little information are very important. So we start with that, and then we go into more details about what it is. Do we have the raw food for that? And if so, fantastic. We can start working on it. And obviously, if it's not, then we have to go shopping to get them, because most of the time we get the order the day before for the delivery the day after.
Okay, that was my next question. With how much time in advance do you... of course, it also depends when we send the order.
Of course.
So if we send 48 hours, I guess you have more time to plan.
Of course.
But for example, what's the minimum?
Minimum. That's a very hard question to answer, because it depends on how big is the order. It depends on if it's a busy day or not.
Let's
it depends on
a jet, not a BBJ or something like this, but let's say a flight with 4 passengers. It's gonna departure in 3 hours.
Well, then it's what. But if it's going from Paris to London, then it's going to be a snack, so it's very easy.
It's okay.
If it's to go to LA, it's going to be more. So then you have to be pragmatic. Then we need to exchange very quickly, like, okay, what can be done, what cannot be done. We were talking earlier, obviously, we will avoid all what is linked with pork, obviously, because it's not a question. We have no time for that. So basically, we go to fish, meat, if it's for hot meal, salads. Well, we have the world food, so it's probably going to be caprese salad or or Caesar salad. So basically, we try to make it fast and easy because we produce everything fresh, but we have the way we work is with vacuum food, so it goes much easier for good quality as well. So we need to see what we have in our fridges and what can be done. But obviously, we need the flight attendant to be pragmatic.
Yes, and probably very responsive.
Very fast, so that we don't lose time acknowledging what you need and what, so that we can start, because then every minute is important. We're very close to the airport. We are 7 minutes away from the door of the entrance of the tarmac side. So 7 minutes, it has to be added to the preparation of it, because we will go straight to the aircraft, and then when we arrive, we need you to be ready and to stock, because sometimes passengers arrive earlier. It does happen as well.
Yes. That is true. I've had flights where it was last minute, and sometimes what I do, because also probably we're dealing with the catering, but we're dealing with the flowers and other specific requests. And this is another thing that we were talking about before, and it's about asking for help and recommendations, and do as you can, as your kitchen and your situation in the moment allows. And again, when we order, because this is something, again, I would love to talk, and mostly let flight attendants know that they, as we were talking before, we work together, we need each other. And I think it's amazing when we can ask each other and ask for recommendations of, for example, the portions. As I said, I've had caterings where I ask for 2 portions of rice and maybe they're tiny, and maybe another catering will give me something that it's ginormous.
Yeah, well, it's what you say. You have 2 important things. So I'm going to start with the basic one. In aviation, we have 0 standard. All ovens are different. So each and every caterer will have his own standard. So talking about foils, for example, my 3 foils, small, medium, and large, they come from 3 different countries of Europe. And it was meant based on my database of clients, and I make the best of it. But eventually my competitors in Le Bourget will have different standards, and I'm not talking about other countries of Europe. And obviously Europe would be different from America.
Yes, absolutely
so that's the reason why it is hard for you as a flight attendant to know the portion size, but it's also hard for us to find our standards. So that's the only standards in aviation are the Atlas tray and the half Atlas tray. The rest...
Yes, and at least you know it will fit. It doesn't matter how small it is.
Exactly. So we know that. We know we have to be as compact as possible. And then obviously, what American flight attendants do, they love that. But my chef hates it. They like us to prepare everything and to put in a Ziploc bags. So when you spend time preparing food and you put it in a Ziploc, it looks like, oof. But it's not bulky, and I understand it, because you don't have any room. Now, talking about what you were saying, yes, we need to have a good relationship with the flight attendant, because we are not the supplier, you're not the client. We are partners. So we need to create a partnership. We need to know what you expect, how you want the salad or the main dish to be. And as far as I know, you can write, but it's with the experience, with the relationship, that we do understand that. So it is very important. And from this experience, and sometimes you and we have to be pragmatic given the situation, because we have busy days, we have last minute orders, and we are humans. We can make mistakes. You can make mistakes.
Absolutely.
We are not perfect, so it's a win-win relationship as far as we respect and understand each other. And obviously, from this relationship that we create, yes, sometimes you go to a destination where it's going to be the first time, and it's like, oops, Pierre, I'm going to this airport, do you know? And it's where I'm going to say, okay, yes, I know, and I go to this because that's for me, and I know him or her, or I heard good about. So
okay, so we can also ask you about recommendations in another airports.
Yes.
This is something new. I did not know, so this is very helpful.
So we don't have always all the answers, because obviously don't ask me in the middle of Asia, because
you won't know.
Even if months ago I got to know a caterer from Japan, it's just we can't know, but I have a network and I can ask my network as well. So basically, aviation, as you know, is a small word from the flight attendant side, same for catering. So we know what's good and we know what is not that good, actually.
And it's a good source. I mean,
Yeah.
you know the standards, you know what's good. And if I went to you before, it means I'm happy with your service. So if I ask for a recommendation,
Exactly.
probably it will be something that it's doable.
But keep in mind that also food is cultural. So
course.
obviously, what is good and presented this way in Paris will have nothing to do with Switzerland, and I'm not talking about a different continent, obviously.
Absolutely. From country to country will
It's always different.
change.
Yeah.
Another question for you, it's because when we order, of course, each flight attendant has their own ways of ordering. What's maybe the most common or even least common? For example, you were talking about bulk.
Yeah.
Then there's ready to serve. Then there's a buffet style. I don't know. There's too many.
Yeah.
Can you adapt to all of these or?
We do things accordingly. As you said, and first question is when we receive the order, then you say what you want the way you want it. So we are not here to say, don't do that or do this way. Who am I to tell? I have a qualified team of in my kitchen that is producing, and they're going to produce the way you want it. And as we were saying earlier, you can be two different flight attendants in the same aircraft working for the same passengers. You two, you work together, but you are going to order different. So we are going to produce the way you want to be produced, you want it to be produced, sorry. But sometimes, yes, it's not very clear because you're jet lagged, because for many reasons. So that's where we come back to you and ask you, are you sure? Or we don't understand. Or what quantity? Or we can suggest sometimes, given the situation. We try not to suggest because, once again, we don't know what's going on in your aircraft, but we receive many orders every day. We used to deal with orders for corporate aircraft. So that's why, once again, it's important to create this relationship in the long run.
Okay.
Yeah.
That it makes sense. And from the point of view of the flight attendant, now that I'm thinking, and it's absolutely true for us, I think it's challenging both ways. We're dealing, when we send emails, we're dealing, for example, with caterers all over the world, but the same way you receive emails from flight attendants all over the world, everything. Is there anything you'd like to recommend for flight attendants to do better? Because this is a real question I had for a few caterers. And again, I truly changed the way I order once I learned what happens behind.
So the way we receive orders, we have two different ways. We have the operations that order under the name of the flight attendant, but it's not what we're going to talk about today. But so it's another target. Talking about the flight attendant way of ordering, basically you have to have your checklist, to make sure you have everything. You have to make sure that each and every item is described properly with the quantity. It's not because you, at the beginning of your order, you say I have 5 passengers on board and 3 crews, that each items for passengers would be for 5. Because there might be some dislikes, there might be some allergies, some whatever. So for each item, I need to know, okay, Caesar salad, 2. Caprese salad, 1. And then a spring salad, whatever, 1. And sometimes what does mean 5 persons, 5 packs is male or female, adults or kids,
yes.
Because kids are not going to eat the same way as adults as well. So basically, if I know there's 5 packs, it's only 5 packs.
Exactly, you don't have more context.
No, so I know I can read a lot from what can happen in the aircraft, but only can.
Yes.
Not what is going to happen actually. So
basically, as much detail as we can provide, clear.
Yeah.
Also, because most of us, English is not our first language.
Oh no.
For almost everyone, so it's a little bit. I can only imagine the emails you must receive. I remember in Germany we were talking about this millefeuille or something like this, that it was very wrongly spelled.
Because sometimes it was the millefeuille, which was written in a way we couldn't understand. It took us 24 hours to understand. Fortunately, it was an order that was sent 48 hours in advance, so we managed. So yes, but yeah, it's true. And obviously, something I forgot to say, what kind of oven you have. We assume you have a normal oven. If you're lucky enough, you have a microwave as well. But sometimes you only have a microwave. And it's where also it's very difficult, because reheating a fish or beef in a microwave is a pain. It's a true pain. I'm lucky, I'm just delivering you the food.
Yes.
I'm not the flight attendant, but
Yes.
I'm like, sometimes, you have to do magic from your side as well. Yeah.
Do you cook differently something if it's for the oven or for the microwave? Or doesn't really change that much?
No, there's not many,
except for the packaging, because
packaging,
course,
obviously, it's important. And in case you have oven and microwave, sauce would be in microwave, obviously. Okay. That's common sense. Now, no, because once again, for some reason, flight attendant, they do good, they do bad sometimes.
Yes.
And for me, French fries, when you order French fries, it does happen a lot. It's hard to reheat, but if you order, then it's because you need them. But how do you do? Everybody does its
their own way.
Exactly. So how can I know that?
Yes.
That's an issue, but we are in an aircraft. We do our maximum. You do your max,
and then you deliver
exactly, and make sure that your passenger is or are happy. And at the end of the day, it's going to be only 1 meal in their life. So just pretend and make the show. So that's.
No, it's true that it's challenging. I've had some caterings on board that it's not even that the catering is bad, but maybe the food choices that I didn't make, because usually I always have my go-to. Of course, I adapt to the client, but you have your kind of standard way of ordering that you know that you're going to deliver properly. For example, myself, you mentioned French fries. I try to avoid French fries as much as I can because they will never taste.
It's hard.
Good. I mean, you can try. I've had, because when you have children, usually you order fries. But again, it's true that maybe some children are easier to please than adults for the French fries, for example. But I've had a lot of passengers asking for French fries, burgers, and all of these things.
So remove the aluminium around and put it in the oven at the top of it. So it would be... Because if you keep the aluminium around, then it will be soggy, and so forget about it. So it's a little trick that you learn, but it's something you have to know yourself. If you're lucky enough, you always fly in the same aircraft, so you know your oven. Most of the time we have flight attendants asking, how long time in my oven? I wish I could answer, but all ovens are different.
Yes, and even microwaves.
Yeah, same.
For example, I do for breakfasts, I do the eggs on board, and it, like, even at home or in the aircraft, times are, I just do every 30 seconds and I check because I know that it doesn't matter if it's the same brand, if it's whatever, it will be completely different. Maybe the egg is different, maybe the water was not fully boiled or something like this. So it's...
And you cook, on ground, it's good, but when you fly, it's going to be different as well. So the reason why you have, if you're lucky enough to be always in the same aircraft, that's the best.
Yes.
You got to know your ovens, or ovens with an S, if you have to. But that's very important. So as a caterer, I can give you an idea of how to make it, but I don't expect me to tell 5 minutes, 6 minutes. I don't know your oven. Yeah.
A good tool is to have a thermometer, and like this you can expect a little bit. And to me, it's the easier way to know if, for example, especially the meat or fish, that are properly cooked and all of these things.
The only thing I can tell you is all the hot food, you put it in your oven, you turn to 65 degrees Celsius, not Fahrenheit, and you keep it, and your food is going to take 3 hours to be at the good temperature to be eaten. and then you can leave for 10 hours, it will never burn. So 65 hours
All
is
right.
good.
I did not know that. Okay, that's
So
a good one.
that's a trick that is very good. Well, normally it's 63 for, but 65 is good, and you remove. So your hot food is ready anytime your passengers need to have food, and it's especially good if you have a long flight. Obviously, if you go from Paris to London, no
it's
need.
easy peasy.
But you go to Asia, whatever, or to Africa, it's ready anytime. So you don't lose time reheating. So you have more time to replate, basically.
And the food is still the same?
Yeah. It's not going to burn.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, for example, rice.
Any food, any
Won't
hot
it
food.
dry? No?
No.
Okay.
No.
I generally didn't know. It's true that the operations that I usually fly, it's just a few passengers, so it's easy. But it's true that if you have a long flight with many passengers, you need the food to be on the go.
And they're not going to wait.
True. Yeah, exactly.
They want it now, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's very fast service kind
That's
of situation.
the trick of the day.
Yes. You know what? I'm going to try it. My next question for you is a lot from the industry. We know this about the crazy requests. Not crazy, but maybe peculiar,
Different.
because for us, maybe it's crazy, but for the person, it's completely normal. But from the people from the outside, every time I say some of the requests I've had, they are completely mind blown. From your point of view or from your experience, what has been something that you said, wow?
It's hard to say. I've been in this industry for more than 15 years now. So I guess what is weird is not weird to me anymore. I'm used to it. So it's hard. Well, requests can be on food and also shopping items. Well, a lot of people call shopping, conciergerie, many words to say it. So I'm going to start with that because it was fun and I keep saying it. It was years ago and we had to deliver a washing machine to be delivered to a Falcon 50. And for those who know, a Falcon 50 is a small aircraft that doesn't exist anymore. Oh, not... well, some are still flying, but they're not produced and manufactured anymore. So, and I wanted myself to make the delivery. So we were the three of us with the pilots to make sure that the washing machine could be delivered to the aircraft. So that's something fun because I never expected to do such delivery to an aircraft. So because apparently the washing machine are only sold in France.
Maybe it was was it just washing machine or was this specific?
It was a specific giving the size to make sure that it could fit exactly, but not. So that's an example. And then talking about food, well, we can make the very specific food of one country, and we did that for a government. So my chef at the time was like, "Oh my God, I don't even know what it is." Fortunately, we can find the recipe easy, but we have to have at least 3 different recipes because there's always something different to see what can be done. And for that specific order, it was a BBJ and a few members of the government, plus the president and the wife. So it was a bit more scary because it was not nobody. Well, doesn't mean that there's nobody flying in corporate aircraft, but it was quite important. And we made it thinking, gosh, I hope they're going to like it. And fortunately, and luckily, the flight attendant sent us a mail the day after to say, oh, they loved it. Thank God for that.
That is a challenge.
It is a challenge.
Especially BBJ, which is for how many people was that?
They were about 20, 30 people. So it was quantity as well. So yeah, it was... So it can be that. It can be also, I remember it was a frequent flyer at the time from Le Bourget, another BBJ. And they wanted to make something wow for the birthday of the main passenger. So being a big aircraft, BBJ is not small. We bought a big mirror, 3 different cakes at 3 different levels with balloons and everything because we had space. And the passenger was very happy. But well, it was to be creative, knowing, and it was easy. It was a big aircraft. In a mid-size, in a Falcon would be different.
You cannot do
Falcon or Gulfstream.
Yeah, you cannot do that.
Of course, yeah.
I've had a colleague buying a popcorn machine because
Yeah.
they were, it was a BBJ too, where everything can happen.
Yeah.
And it was because they had children on board, so they had
Okay.
this cinema, so they made the popcorn machine,
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
had like this little, how do you say in English, ferry, like with carousels and things like this. So they made kind of a show. So
Something
it was super
kiddie,
cool.
very kiddie. Yeah, I
Yes.
can imagine. Well, I remember it happened 3 times actually with 3 different flight attendants. They wanted balloons, but and we were the 2 of them, having the balloons. But at some point, I was like, because the flight attendant wanted to have a nice welcome, and I said they are going to be kept for the whole flight.
Right.
Are you sure you want? And she wanted more and more and more. And at the end, well, she didn't know what to do after the welcoming because too many balloons. But at least, I mean, she had what she was expecting was, I think, a birthday or don't remember the reason. So it was like, wow, that's nice.
Yes.
And it's a great attention. But you have to think about, yeah, okay, good. But what am I going to do after? So
Yes. And it's true that I think, again, being from the industry, and even being from the industry, because I fly smaller jets, I've never flown a BBJ. People have this perspective like, yes, we can do everything, but
limited.
even more than everything.
Yeah. But you have to you have to be pragmatic.
Exactly.
Just to make sure you do it properly, just anticipate, say, okay, so you just review in your mind, okay, so that the welcome will be this way, this. So sometimes a very good idea might be very bad.
That is also true. You have
Yeah.
to be careful. You
Yeah.
have to be not only, exactly as you said, not only in that precise moment, what's going to happen after.
After, yeah.
Exactly. No, it's true that in these big aircrafts, I've heard so many stories. Also, literally falcons, the bird.
Yeah.
I've heard animals with diamonds.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
I've heard everything. So it's an industry where you do get surprised.
Yeah.
But you know that if you can do it, you'll
Yeah,
just try to
exactly.
make
We
it.
also cater sometimes for dogs only. There's no passengers but dogs only. So I mean, we are not here to judge, to like or dislike. We are here to provide a service.
exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
You request, we do. That's
Exactly.
basically it.
Yeah.
And it's true. I've had dogs on board. I wish I had cats on board. I'd love to have cats on
It's
board.
easier.
I'd love that. I have
But they
cats
might
on-
pee. Be careful.
That's true. They have to be careful. But we usually do always these little things, like, as you said, a menu for
Yeah.
dogs.
Oh.
So do you actually cook for them? Because what we do, depending on the passenger, for example, this specific dog, I know it, and we just know we buy them stuff, but we make the menu.
Yeah.
We buy the little toys.
Yeah.
We buy the little bed, and it's a whole experience for the dog.
That's what we do. I mean, we in such case we are asked to produce ourselves part of food, and we also buy some treats and some dish and of course, well, so yeah, we adapt ourselves. But while talking about what we were saying earlier, I'm going to talk about a good caterer friend that is based in New York. He has a menu dedicated to pets.
It's lovely. I love it.
And apparently it works very well for him because he's in New York. Well, it's the major airports in the
Yes.
world, and based in America, any and everything is possible over there. So at his place, it's something that a lot of people are asking to. Well, they cook specific food for pets from his
love it.
kitchen. Yeah.
I love
so, yeah.
So basically, people think that caterers is for food, but you can deliver from a washing machine to anything really.
Yeah, what is food, what is no food? Of course, because
Anything.
we do shopping, obviously. So it can be very simple gloves that you need to replate, for
Yes.
example. It can be trash bags, or it can be some chocolates from this specific chocolate maker, some pastries. I mean, anything. Even sometimes you need a refill of, your spray for the toilets. I mean,
Anything.
anything.
It's not only catering; it's providing anything for a private
Actually,
jet.
well, the caterer is basically, we don't know to whom to get it from. That's the caterer.
Yes, no, and it's true, and it's true.
And even sometime, I remember years ago, we've been asked to get some product against the, all these flying bees. That's
Yes.
he was a frequent flyer from Le Bourget. So for the first flight, we couldn't get it because these products are very specific and we were not supposed to get them. But then we've been working with a supplier. He needed to know what was the capacity of the aircraft, the size of it, and then after one or two flights, we got some case of that. But for these specific items, we can't get them because they're too specific. So even we've been asked for some belts, and these, forget it. We will never get belts.
Belts for the aircraft?
For the aircraft. And we said, sorry.
No,
we can't. It's maintenance. It is maintenance.
It's maintenance, exactly.
So we had to explain, no, we cannot.
Yeah, exactly. No.
I wish I could. But no, I didn't
exactly.
wish.
Exactly.
Because it has to be certified.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because as far as every belts and stuff like that are certified, our food is also certified.
Exactly.
That's very important as well.
And this is a topic that I really, really, really want to talk because it's a little bit controversial. I am in the same page as you are. And it's you not only deliver food, you can also pick up food.
Yeah.
I've had many conversations with different flight attendants. Of course, and again, we do what the client prefers and wants. But there's this very important thing about the food chain, about the temperature, so many things that it's basically going to pick up the food anywhere, any restaurant.
This is sad, unfortunately, because as you said, we are caterer. We are not a restaurant. And actually, the difference between the two entities, to say it in these words, is very simple. Restaurant is cook serve. Catering company is cook chill. Why chilling? It's to minimize the contamination by germs, basically. So food that we order from a restaurant will be picked up the day before, the night before, if you depart the morning after. So it's already too late. So it's something that is very bad. In this aircraft, I understand you have very important people of the world and they can afford going to any places and obviously not the cheapest ones. But at some point, they're not stupid. I know some people would not like to hear about it, but we need also to educate as far as it is possible the passengers that, are you sure it's the best option? Because you like the food it's your favorite restaurant. I understand, but it's not meant to be reheated. And sometimes your oven doesn't work properly. It will make it even worse. And I'm not going to tell that the food from this restaurant is bad. It's just that it is not meant for that.
Yeah, it's designed to eat in the moment.
The problem comes from some companies that wanted to be attractive to catch passengers and to say, hey, I can bring your favorite restaurant food to your aircraft. It's a wrong good idea, basically. And in case you have a problem, it's food poisoning or anything, they are important people. They cannot lose time because of food, basically.
Yes.
And that's an issue. Now, obviously, I'm not for this, but as you said, if passengers want, what can we say? But I would say if we want to make people change, at least if we could stop doing food from, sushis. Sushis are worse because sushis are, once they prepare, they are meant to be eaten in maximum 2 hours. And obviously, same, if we get them the night before, so to be delivered at 11, so it means that by noon you're going to take off. It means that they're going to be served half an hour later. It's more than half a day after.
Yes.
So that's an issue. Yeah. Now, where's the answer? I don't know, because each and every passengers are different. Each and every aircraft are different. Who knows? But yeah, it's there's
It's
something.
complicated.
Yeah, it is complicated.
For example, I rely on caterings because a conversation that I have usually it's many flight attendants complain that they encounter not good catering, so they prefer to go to restaurants. And I always say that's maybe not your catering. You need to find another catering. It happened to me too. That we tried a few caterings in one location, it was not working. The passenger suggested we might just go to somewhere and buy salads or buy sandwiches and I eat because it's very short flight, so it's fine. Until we found one that worked for us. Maybe you just need to find that. And again, then you have specific requests. And I've went to restaurants where they say, first of all, I don't want to provide food for this person. Not because, first, we don't say the name, but if they know it's a private jet, they know that the consequences can also be big. If they get food poisoning and you start tracking back who fault it is, it's the restaurant, which they lose all the control of the transportation of how many hours of. So again, I get it. If I was flying a private jet and I really, 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 really wanted something from a specific place, I think the most we can do maybe it's ask caterers to go pick it up because you have cars that are refrigerated. Maybe you can even talk to them and say, look, I know that you make food for the moment, but this is for a private jet. Can you please arrange this in a certain way that it's maybe easier or safer? That's the word.
Yeah. So, I agree. I would say if you definitely have to order from a non-aviation catering company, then instead of going to a restaurant, I would say go to a downtown caterer because we are back to cook and chill.
Yes, it's true.
So that would be better. Now, talking about restaurants, not all of them accept, and basically the high-end restaurant, they will not accept.
They don't. It's very hard.
So we go down and down, and we cheaper. So does it worth ordering from a medium restaurant more than like a catering company? I don't have any answer because, as you say, it depends on what food it is, what airport, what city. So many things are happening. But yeah, it's an issue. It is an issue.
Yes.
And then the other problem is the packaging.
Yes.
Back to what I was saying earlier, there is no standard in aviation, but obviously they don't know anything about standards. And I remember picking up food from a restaurant, and they portioned by 1 pax for each. So it was bulky, and a small foil and together. And I did the delivery myself, so we opened everything together with the flight attendant because we received it last minute, right before going to the aircraft. We opened, and fortunately we opened because each small foil had the piece of meat together inside with a plastic thing with the sauce, which was separate, but
it would
inside
have melted.
Exactly. So fortunately, it was like, oh, we open. So yes, open anyway because
yes.
You have to because it's better to check before than when you fly. It's too late.
But imagine you are in a rush and you just put and you see, okay, this is meat.
It's
meat,
a new
meat.
plastic beef.
Exactly. Oh my god. Yeah, that can be
it's a nightmare.
One.
It's a nightmare. Yeah.
I've had also. I was in this very remote location. My only option, it was in Africa, my only option
was the restaurant of the hotel.
Was exactly.
As usual.
And I don't know how many times an hour, and at the end we had a massive problem. It was solved, the food was good.
Yeah.
But to explain what was it for? On top of that, casually, there was another crew from another company there. So, and casually, we're taking off similar times.
Okay.
So basically, we're both in the hotel lobby. The food is all mixed up. We don't know who is what from. We had to go through and open everything to check what it was from. And then, of course, I didn't even think in that moment because we were already stressed because we needed to go each other to our to
prepare
aircraft.
The flight. Yeah.
The containers. Nothing was approved for the oven. Thanks God I had a foil on board. But imagine it was a full flight. Replate everything to put in the oven and then put in the plate. So it was.
That's why it's important to always have some packaging with you.
Yes.
You have obviously you fly in and out many airports, and as we all have different standards, the standard that suits you better, well, ask your
Yes.
caterer to buy some from him,
Yes.
so that you keep in case of a problem, or in case you have no other option. So you
Exactly.
have to avoid to cook yourself, because
Yes.
because if problem there is, then you be responsible for it.
Exactly, which is,
But
again,
at least having a packaging is a way for you to make something out of the situation.
exactly.
Yeah,
So it's true. It's very important to at least have a backup. Doesn't matter how. Again, all problems I've had on board, thanks God, I had them solved.
And always have also some dry store on board.
Yes, and I usually have, and this a lot of companies have it and are some implementing now, which is our fridge bag,
Yeah,
which we
of
travel
course.
around. We
The
have
cool bag,
exactly the cool
with
bag.
ice pack and
Exactly, and
so in such case, you it's good to have one for fresh, one for
dry.
exactly dry, and if you have some ice creams with dry ice,
exactly.
So it will be 3 bags basically, but remove everything from the aircraft when you leave.
Always.
Because I saw
Always.
so many aircraft filled with bottle of wine, and knowing that the aircraft is going to park summer or winter, it's going very hot and cold very quickly, the new wine is very soon going to be very bad.
Yes, and
it's
that's
going to be vinegar.
That's why we have again, in the companies that I've been working with, we always have, we call it winter ops and summer ops, because you need, like, things explode, things freeze, the water in your coffee machine is gonna freeze if you go minus, So it's true that you need to know, you need to know and be prepared.
Yeah.
Another question for you, and it's very important for us that we're building an app around this, and it's the certifications that you need to have in order to be called a catering. Because again, for flight attendants, it's a little bit, especially when you start, and even sometimes you're very experienced, but you might lose some time checking who is a caterer, who is a broker, who, is this legitimate, can I trust? So what us flight attendants should look after in order of certifications for us to be sure, okay, this is a place where I can order from and be sure?
That's a very interesting question, and that's important at the moment, because with all these Uber Eats and supposedly a very easy solution, and to be able to deliver to an aircraft, you need 2 certifications. So you have on one side the hygiene, which is you need to have the European certification. So it's a EC certification with a number. EC, and for France, it's going to be EC and FR and a number. So that's so it shows that we produce things with a tracking system in case of a problem. That's very important, and also it affects the way we cook, the protocols, and to wash food, but also the kitchen. It also affect the training of the staff. So that's one side, and the other side is from the civil aviation, because we deliver to the aircraft, so we need to get access to the aircraft. And as I said earlier, everything that is in an aircraft has to be certified by the local civil aviation. So we have the same. We have a certification which is RS, so registered supplier. It's European. So each country of Europe follow the European text, which are following the international text, basically. So for Europe, even if UK Brexited, they are still working with Europe for that. So we need to have this registration, and this registration is following same protocols. So the way we train, the way we hire staff, the way we cook food as well, and the way everything is kept under control until the delivery at the aircraft. That's very, very important. It's not only food. It is, as I say, what is the most important in aviation? It's fuel. What is food is the fuel of the people.
Yes.
So it has to be, you have to understand that we are not talking about simple food. We're not talking about a simple quiche. Quiche is simple, but it takes half an hour to make, but it is made under following a protocol to make sure everything will be safe and secure. because we are flying the most important people of the world. Because in the current context, which I'm not going to come into politics, but with the conflicts we have, you do fly the people that are working for or against whatever, they have an influence. So you have to make sure you don't get food from whatever place that is going to be eaten by these people.
Yes.
So when you order food from a catering company, make sure it's a proper caterer. Do not answer to the emails that you receive when you arrive at the airport, because most of the time it is not a caterer, it's a broker. If you're lucky, it's a broker. If you're not lucky, it's because you have been targeted by people who want to target you passengers.
Which
you
is
have
very
to think,
dangerous.
It is dangerous. We underestimate this in this industry,
yes.
because we used to have to fly these important people, and important people are not the stars. They are politics. They are very very big business
yes.
people. So it is something we have to bear in mind.
So it's very important to look for the certifications.
Certification.
Is it something that we ask, or is it shown in the web?
It's shown. So it's shown, and you can ask, but you just I would say, well, we're not talking, but if you need, I can give you all that. But make sure that in Europe, that this company does the delivery at the aircraft by itself, not by a third company. It has. If this company does deliver to the aircraft, at least the company does have the certification from the civil aviation.
All right.
And then you ask, what is your hygiene certification? And then you Google it, and you can check. Yeah, exactly.
All right, that's a very good one. Even just for us to know that if they deliver to the aircraft, it means that
by themselves, not a third party.
Okay.
Yeah. Because if it's a third party, avoid it. Run away.
How could they access though to the aircraft? You mean an FBO?
So in Europe, it's forbidden to deliver to an FBO. And in case of a problem, you as a flight attendant, you can be injured, because you're supposed to check by yourself. Okay. So basically, make sure that the company that produces is delivering the food to your aircraft, not a third party.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Good to know.
Yeah.
It's been an absolute pleasure. It's been an hour.
Already?
I thought it was going to be way shorter. I loved it.
Thank you.
I would even suggest to come back, because we were talking before some other topics, but we didn't even touch them.
Exactly.
So as per now, it's been a pleasure, Pierre.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
See you next time.
With great pleasure. Thank you. We keep in touch anyway.
Exactly.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And for our listeners, thank you so much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and have your opinions. I'm a flight attendant. He's a caterer. If you're one of those, or even you have some questions for us, we are here to reply to them. Bye-bye. See you next time.
Bye.